Monica, as I said, she is a really good friend of Lisa's. She's probably one of the reasons that Lisa went to Endeavor Academy for 10 years was because of Monica's influence on her when she met her in New York City. And I don't know how it happened, but we showed up here. Lisa and I showed up here, and then a few years later, Monica shows up here at Unity on the River, and she's made this her own community, and she's also very much a part of our community here. And Monica is a spiritual teacher. She's a coach. She has a website called healyourmindhealyourlife.com. She's the founder of that organization, and she spent the last 30 years teaching A Course in Miracles. She is a published author, and she's also she's a board member of this church, Unity on the River, right here. And I just really love Monica. She's a clear teacher. She's a clear demonstration of what the Course teaches, and also she's a coach helping people to find their way if they want individual, personalized help and guidance. And it's kind of like a guru, only it's not the guru kind of a type. You know, a guru is really a reflection and embodiment of the teaching that they represent. And that's what a good teacher is. A good teacher is like Lisa Natoli, and she's a good embodiment and demonstration of what the Course in Miracles teaches, and Monica is just the same thing. And everyone, I just want to ask you to give a warm welcome to Monica Dubay. Come on up. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My pleasure to be here. I'm really excited to be here and just see all you guys that showed up in the room and those who are online. Thanks, Bill, for that great introduction. So it's been about 30 years since I've found A Course in Miracles, and it changed my life so dramatically and so incredibly that I continue to work with it and teach it and help people transform their minds in my business. So the real reason I wanted to teach today was because, I was asked to, but also there's a really strong need, I think, right now on the planet for people to come into their certainty of who they are, because there's a lot of upset over politics and over the changes that we're going through energetically, because there's so much light coming into the planet. And we're light workers, and so we are feeling all of that. There's a tremendous amount of uncertainty that we feel because of this change that we're all going through. And we need each other, right? We need to support each other in this because it's not easy, right? This is a real transformative event that's going on where we really are affecting the consciousness and bringing love into a place of darkness, or what was darkness. Okay, and because it's all new and we're having to learn to create our future rather than try to make the past the future or fit into the world even as it is now, because it seems really chaotic and we know we really don't belong in a chaotic place. When we as light workers came in, we decided we were going to come in and bring a message of truth and happiness and peace. And that's why we're joined, and that's what calls people to A Course in Miracles. So when I first found it, I was in a state of deep depression in New York City. I was trying to make money. I was trying to fit into the world as it is, and I was failing at it miserably, which I'm glad, I'm grateful for now. But the reason I failed at it was because it's not my home. And it's we don't belong here. This is a place of chaos. It's third dimensional duality. Good and evil, right and wrong, and always striving to get stuff and always striving to figure out who you are and find your purpose and all that. But within a state of chaos, within an illusion, you can't find that. It's just impossible. And so what happens is, that's okay. there's a real need for those of us who are doing this transformative work to find our way, join with each other, and create a new paradigm, which is light and love. And we all know this, or we wouldn't be coming to groups like this. When I found the Course, I literally was in so much anxiety. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I was on Wall Street working, trying to make money. I had a breakdown, and it was intense. And I tried to find ways to alleviate that, and nothing worked. Psychology didn't work. Group therapy didn't work. Hypnosis didn't really work. I mean, they did to a point, and then it was just, no, that's not it. And then I found A Course in Miracles, and I found the ideas of A Course in Miracles really shifted my consciousness. That's what's so amazing about the Course. And in the beginning, I was reading it. I didn't understand a word. Honestly, I didn't understand a word. But I knew that what I was being offered was a real solution. Because, and also, the voice was very unmistakably clear that it was coming from Jesus of Nazareth, who I had been raised Catholic, so to me I was very familiar with that theology. But I had left the church because it didn't speak to me after I was in college, and that was hard for me, but I floundered for about 10 years without a faith, without a spiritual practice. And then I found the practice, right? Because you can read the Bible, you can read all kinds of stuff, but if you don't have an actual practice where you're training your mind to change from fear to love, I just think it takes a long time to wake up. If you do have a practice, thank God we do. We were given this incredible book that has the workbook lessons, which for me just answered every question that I had. Every single question about what am I doing here? And who am I? And the message was so hopeful and so coming from a source of love. And I knew that had to be the truth. You know, I mean, when we were kids, we knew love was the answer, right? So having gone through so much conditioning through the church, through my family, through everything, that my teachers, we're being conditioned to believe a certain way. And when you come to this place, which I found in that state of depression, none of it made sense. My past didn't make any sense. The theology didn't make any sense. Trying to make money didn't make any sense. Trying to create go for the American dream, which is, I was in New York. That's what everybody says to do. Go make your $1 million and you'll be fine. And honestly, we were pretty caught up in it for a while. Anyway, the breakdown happened, and I found the Course, and it started to give me the answer to my big question. And my big question was, why am I so afraid? Where's the fear coming from? Help. I need help, because I didn't like what I was experiencing in my mind. So, within a few months, I felt completely different. I was reading the Course. It just hit me in the, like a 2x4. Like, this is your answer. Here it is. And every single lesson, the beginning lessons we'll get into a little bit, because I love teaching the mind training of the beginning lessons. Lessons 1 through 10. If you do lessons 1 through 10 every day, and you never do another lesson, you will wake up. Honestly, because it's teaching you the mechanism of your mind that's false. The ego mind that's false is always coming from an unreal state, right? It's an unreal state. It's fear. It's fear-based. It's coming from an idea that you're separate from God, right? So that creates that anxiety. Very simple, but it's true. I feel I'm separate from God. I've identified myself as a body in time and space. And I think I have to strive and make my life work and figure it out, right? If I save you time today, my main message always is stop trying to figure it out, okay? Because that's the ego trying to figure out an illusion that it's already caught in, and it's a closed thought system. And that closed thought system has no way out. It's because it of itself is the falsity, right? So you, as identified in time, in space, in a body with an identity, no matter what it is, whatever you've told yourself you are, you are the problem. Sorry, but it's true. You know? Like, I have a problem. It's me. It's my identity with myself. It's my conditioning. It's, you know, and I can blame the past, or I can blame, but blame doesn't work, right? I can blame my parents. I can blame my upbringing. I can blame my past lives. But the truth is, that's over, right? I mean, the only true thing to say about the past is that it's over, right? It's gone. So why do I still think about it? Well, that's what that's the trick of the ego. The ego mind is always trying to, oh, let's look at the past. Look at what you did or what you didn't do or what happened or who hurt you or all that stuff. You know, I mean, I had a lot of stuff happen to me. Do I blame them now? No, I don't. And so I'm free. But I had to go through a process of letting go. And that letting go is called forgiveness. So that's the other main lesson of A Course in Miracles is forgiveness. Forgive and you will see this differently. Forgive and you will wake up. Forgive and you will see that nothing you see means anything. That's lesson 1. Right? So it's really hard for ego minds to get this because they want to intellectualize it and try to figure it out and go, but what does she mean by that? And don't do that, okay? Try not to do that. Try to just go, I don't know, I'm not going to analyze it. You know, Bonnie said that last week. She goes, I don't analyze. And I'm like, oh, what a relief. If you don't have to analyze, you will be free of that need to stay separate, really. Because analyzation just keeps you in a state of separation. It still keeps you separate. Okay, so I'm going to answer some of the questions that people sent in, which is really cool. But I want to direct you right now to the idea that your real problem as an ego, as a separate identity, is that you're listening to the wrong voice. Right? You're always listening to the voice of fear, or guilt, or self-doubt, or uncertainty, or pain, or the past. So you're listening to the false you. And the Course says it this way, the ego is a singularly, how does it say it? It's really beautiful. Oh, it seems absurd. Okay. The ego's qualifications as a guide are singularly unfortunate. And that it is a remarkably poor choice as a teacher of salvation. Okay, I am in chapter 9, and I'm in my book, and this is the new purple book, it's section 4, Looking Beyond Error, and I'm going to do a lot with this section today. It's a singularly unfortunate choice for a guide because it's always leading you into fear. It's always giving you a reason to attack yourself, and it attacks you. So, but that's you attacking you. Okay, your ego isn't a separate thing outside yourself. It's you. Sorry, but it's true. It's kind of insulting sometimes when I teach this way, but your ego is you. It's you and your separate mind. Okay, you don't have an ego. You have an identity with a body. That is the ego, and it's thinking separate thoughts, attack thoughts, and they're constantly attacking you. Judgment, criticism. You know. And it's always trying to protect itself. It does it through attack, right? So when you hear that voice in your head that's attacking you, that's the ego mind attacking you because it wants you to suffer and stay separate. But it has no solution for you. It is not, because it's not even real. But we listen to it because we've been habitually trained to listen to it. And the only way out of it is to stop listening to it, right? That's why we need the mind training. You can do all kinds of meditation and all kinds of spiritual books and read all kinds of stuff. But if you don't train your mind, you can accomplish nothing. It's really that simple. Okay. So, when I read that, an untrained mind can accomplish nothing, I realized that was my purpose, was to train my mind to believe the truth. But not only to believe it, but to experience it as my reality, right? Which is what I want for everyone. I can't stand being Like, it's like I've been let in on a secret, and I've experienced it, and I do most of the time, but it pains me to know that other people don't have this solution. It's my pain. My brother's pain is my pain. So I stand here doing this, and I do my coaching business and everything because I want to free people from this horrible thought system that's keeping you in pain, right? And we don't belong there, and it's not fun. And it's very important to understand that it's work to undo your thought system. That it's not, oh, just say this to yourself every day. You know, if it were that easy, we'd all be awake, right? If we didn't have to work at this, we'd all be awake. But it does require your participation, and that is because you have been listening to the wrong voice. You've just been listening to the wrong voice. And it comes up with a myriad of problems that you have to solve. You know, and once you solve one, there's another one. And once you solve that one, there's another one, right? And so it's always in this endless state of creating more problems for you to solve, because that's what keeps it busy, and that's what keeps it distracted, keeps you distracted from reality. When reality is right here. It's right here. We're in a multidimensional universe. The fifth dimension and higher is where we exist in light and love. That's what's going on here. And everyone here, everything that happens to you is to help you to step into that reality. Because that's what this whole paradigm is really designed to do, is wake you up. Okay, so there's your reason for doing it. You need a reason, right? You need a motivation to train your mind, because it isn't easy. So the motivation is to get out of the pain you're in. To me, I didn't care what this was teaching me theologically. I needed a relief from my pain. I didn't want to be depressed anymore. I didn't understand why I was depressed, and I wanted the solution to it. And truly, that's the only reason that I continue to look at this. You know, why keep picking up a book for 30 years? You'd think I was crazy. But every time I do, I have a miracle, a shift in my perception, and it wakes me up, and I go, oh my God, I never read that before. And I know I have, but I hear it again. You know, I hear it. I really hear it. And that's what gets me excited and motivated to keep doing the same thing over and over and over. And also, the course itself is designed systematically for you. It knows. Jesus knows your mind, right? And Jesus of the course is the Christ mind. It's all the Ascended Masters. It's everyone that was a part of creating this course. I know it wasn't just one mind. It was a consortium of Ascended Masters. I just know that. I don't know how I know that, but I do. And we see that as separate entities, but there isn't any separation. So the Ascended Masters are all part of one mind, which is actually the mind that we're in, right? We're all Ascended Masters. We've just forgotten. And so anyway, the way out, okay, it becomes, the healing of your mind becomes a method, right? And to me, the method was doing the course, reading the course, teaching the course, and not the book so much. I mean, read it and teach it and everything, but experience it, throw it away sometimes, and just be yourself, right? Just let go for a while. Sometimes we get too heady. We get too, oh, it says this, and on this page it says that. And it's like, who the hell cares? Are you happy? You can do it intellectually, and it's not going to bring you peace, right? So, everybody take a deep breath, because I need one. Bring your energy down into your heart for a moment. Just get out of our heads, come down into the heart, and really expand the light or the space within your heart center right now. There's a lot of energy today, and I'm feeling how much we're going to experience from this. It's very exciting to me in a good way. Not exciting, frantic exciting, but exciting like, yay, and joyful. So feel the joy begin to bubble up in you, that we've found the solution. I have found the solution, and it's in me. It is in me. It is not outside of me. It's not in a book. It's not in a teacher. It's in me. Okay? Thank God, thank God, thank God that the solution is somewhere where I can find it. Now send your energy right down through your feet and all the way down to the earth, and just ground yourself with that truth. I have found the solution. I know who I am. So say that out loud. I know who I am. I know why I'm here. Okay, good. Open your eyes. So, it's that simple. Yeah, that's it. Boom, done. Why is this so fun? I think it's really fun because it's so simple to really dismiss what's not true. I do a lot of work with clearing your beliefs in my program, and people have asked me, she did my money box class, and she goes, is it really possible to release all those beliefs in that, just like that? And I'm like, why not? None of them are true. What's taken you a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of suffering is to believe what's not true. And it's really weighed you down. It's really taught you a lot of false things that aren't true, and it's made you sick. It's made you sick, depressed, tired, suicidal. I've had people come to me suicidal, and I'm like, wow. If you really think that death is your answer, have at it. But we've been there. How many lifetimes, right? It doesn't solve your problem. Your problem is you're afraid to live. You're afraid to be alive. You're afraid to express yourself. You're afraid to truly step into the light of who you really are. Okay? And that's only because you stand out when you do that. You do. You can't. You just do. And you don't want to. You want to hide and protect. That's ego mind that wants to hide and protect. Okay? If you knew, Laura's an amazing teacher. Every time she speaks, she enlightens people. So why? Why does she keep getting up in front of the 12 step? Because she has to, right? We have to. We have no choice. If we don't do that, we get depressed. We get, and we start to think about drinking again. Awful. So the only way to keep what you've been given is to keep giving it away, right? So I encourage you. I encourage everyone who's in Teachers of God. This is why you're becoming who you really are, which you've never not been. But now that you claim it, I am a teacher of God, it's time for you to get up and start teaching. It's time for you to get out there. Why? Because there are a lot of people suffering and they're waiting for you. Okay, that's why my coaching program is about helping people find their purpose, get out there and teach. Be that light that you are in whatever capacity. Doesn't matter what it is. You could be doing, career coaching, or you could be doing financial recovery. You could be doing anything. But give your gifts away, because you have to. If you don't, people are suffering and they're waiting for you. And if you hide and you think, I can't, I'm too small, I'm too blah, 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 and make up a bunch of crap, then you suffer, and so does all the people that you're supposed to be serving. So, all right, that's enough about that. I get up on the soapbox about that because I know how scary it is. I do. I was hiding for a while doing massage, doing body work, and not that there's anything wrong with that. It's great. If you have pain, please go see your massage therapist. It can help you. But I knew there was a bigger impact that I was supposed to do, or have a bigger impact, and not so much because of the world and all that, but because I needed to do it. It was a calling that I was answering, and now I know. Yeah. And so whenever anybody comes, I think there's something I'm supposed to be doing. I'm like, yes, let's find out what it is and let's get you out there doing it, because you really need to be standing in the light and serving. Also because there's so much chaos that the fear has come to the surface, right? Do you feel that? Deep fear, deep self-hatred. The other day I was writing down, I hate myself, and I'm like, really? But I did for that moment. And I realized it's just what the ego does. It loves to hate. It loves to attack. So it turned around, because I do Byron Katie's 4 questions, right? In the end, I love myself. And then you come up with reasons why. Well, the list kept going on, I love myself because I am the light of the world. I love myself because I didn't make myself. I don't have to try to figure it out. Try to figure out how I got made, created by God. Good luck, Like, just accept it, right? Just accept that you are the light of the world. Can you accept it? It's really an acceptance, right? It's not about figuring it out or thinking, God must have made a mistake when he created me. It's good for everybody else, but not me. I have a lot of people that say that, oh yeah, everybody else can make money, but not me. I'm like, really? Why? Why are you so special? Why do you think you're different? But see, that's the insanity. There's no way to figure out insanity. It's just insane. All right, so I want to go to the beginning of this section, because it says to look beyond the error. Look beyond the error. That's forgiveness. Forgiveness is not examining your error, making it all real, thinking you have to do something about it, blaming someone. It's really about stepping out of that whole thing all at once, if you can. And you can, because it's a matter of choice. It's a matter of motivation, and it's a matter of choice. I'm going to do this. I'm going to wake up. I made that commitment when I found the Course in Miracles, and my life has really changed since then, tremendously. There's no way I could have gotten up in front of a group at that time. I was terrified. I was terrified of public speaking. I was terrified of the world. I didn't know what I was doing here, and I found my way by doing this practice over and over again, hearing the message that I am the light of the world. Right? And all I need to do is accept that and forgive myself for believing all those false, crazy ideas. Forgive yourself that you had this thought, right? And we found lots of methods to do that. But most of it comes down to the same thing. Don't, perceive the truth, right? Because your false perception is always going to show you falsity. But the true perception is what we're looking at and what we're aiming for as we do the Course. No one can give you that. You have to find it. You have to find your own way to perceive yourself differently from darkness to light, right? How you get there, it doesn't really matter. This is a shortcut, but it doesn't matter if it takes you 20 years or 20 lifetimes. You're still going to find it, because the truth is true, right? The truth of who you are is true. Everything else is not true. I know it seems like a really simple statement, but it's a paradox. Nothing here is true. It's an illusion. And the only thing that is true is the love of God, which is actually what you are. Even in the body, it's still what you are, right? You don't get out of here through hating anything or rejecting anything. You don't get out of here by rejecting the body. You don't get out of here by rejecting people. You don't get out of here by rejecting anything. You have to include it, embrace it, and forgive. And that's work. Okay, but it's work that actually works. So At-One-Man is for all, because it's the way to undo the belief that anything is for you alone. That's another reason to get out there and teach. To forgive is to overlook, right? You see the illusion, you feel the fear come up, and you go, that's crazy. I'm not going to listen to that today, right? Or I'll write it down and go, well, I feel that thought. There's a fear thought. Okay. What do I do with it? I need help, because I don't really know how to undo error. And so it becomes a lesson in surrender. It becomes a lesson in asking for the guide, right? The real guide that you need to correct your mind is the Holy Spirit. It's in you. The Holy Spirit is not outside of you. It's not an entity. It's not I kind of think of it as a tachyon field of light, but it's the light that we're in. This is really true. The Holy Spirit was sent to us after Jesus resurrected to give us what he called the Comforter, to show us that the Holy Spirit in us can correct all the errors. And the Urantia book calls it Thought Adjuster. Isn't that nice? So adjust your thought from fear to love, right? All the true spiritual teachings have this idea that you have to forgive your mind. You have to change your mind, right? Because your mind has been deluded into thinking, and really it's deluded. It's just thinking the false thoughts, which will never be true. Even, you can examine them, and this is why I don't believe that therapy without a holistic approach really does a lot. It examines the past, but that doesn't heal it, okay? Unless you apply a method of letting go to it, So, to forgive is to overlook. Look then beyond error, and do not let your perception rest upon it, for you will believe what your perception holds. Accept as true only what your brother is, if you would know yourself. Right? So your brother is you. That's why if you have a resentment, if you have a grievance, if you're angry at someone, you've got to forgive them. But you're not even forgiving them. You're forgiving your anger. You're forgiving your own mind that's resentful. Right? The perception is what needs forgiving. It's not the other guy. The other guy's totally fine. Literally. They're reflecting to you where you're stuck. And that's hard for people to hear. It's hard for people to understand. They want to blame. They want to put the problem outside of you. But it will never solve the problem because it keeps the guilt going. Like, I'm going to blame you, and then I feel guilty. But I'll keep doing it. So, it's insane. It's a thought system that doesn't have a release in it at all. I'm always just looking for a release. We are, right? We're always looking for the thing that's going to make us feel better. That's why we grab the drink, because for a while that did make us feel better. Yeah, or a guy, or sex, or, yeah, it's awesome. But it's short-lived, it doesn't solve the whole problem. Because the whole problem is the you that's trying to find it outside of you. And it'll never work. So, okay, so what we do is, you do not know how to overlook errors, or you would not make them. Okay, so you don't know how, so that's why you need the guide. You do not make them. It would be merely further error to think that either that you do not make them, or that you can correct them without a guide, capital G, guide, to correction. Right? So admit that you've made an error, admit that you need help, and ask for help. That's it. That's the action of the mind that needs to be applied in all situations where you're in pain, where you're suffering. If you do not follow this guide, your errors will not be corrected. So if you don't follow the guide to bring you out of hell, you'll stay in hell. And hell is just a state of separation. But it's serious. Like, we really did this to ourselves. We really put ourselves into this dream of separation, and it's been really painful. Right? It's no fun. So, the plan is not yours because of your limited ideas about what you are. Right? So your whole problem is that you have all these limited ideas. Beliefs that keep you stuck. Beliefs in lack. And lack comes from the idea that you're separate from God. That's it. I'm lacking something. Really? Yeah, you're lacking the awareness that you're whole and perfect as God created you. And it outpictures as lack of what you think you need. But that's never, ever true. You never lack anything you need. It's always given you. Because you are the thing that you seek. It's hard to teach this. I can't really teach it and have you get it, but I can teach you and point you to the experience, which is all my teacher ever did for us, at the academy. He was a master teacher. He had ascended master, complete certainty of who he was. He had absolutely no doubts about it. And it scared the shit out of everybody that came near him. Why? Because we were in fear. We were coming into a complete love reference in terror. And he would look at us and go, "You're so full of shit. Like, what's wrong with you? Wake up. Why are you listening to fear?" So it was very confrontational, but it worked. It woke us up. Those of us who stuck with it. Because it wasn't, it was challenging to be around. Oh my God. Do you ever go and hang out with Amma for the couple of days that she comes to town? Imagine spending 10 years with someone like that. It changes you entirely. You realize that, oh my God, it really is true. There's light all around me. It's what I am. Because you're with a being that is egoless. And do you need to do that? I don't know. You find out. You ask yourself, do I need to be around a person like that? You might. I did. I'm really grateful that I did, because I was in so much pain, and I knew I had everything I wanted. I had 2 kids, a husband, lots of money coming in, a big house in the suburbs of New York, and I was miserable. Like, I woke up one day and went, shit, this isn't it. This is the American dream, right? It meant nothing to me. And I had this horrible pain in my gut, and I went to an ashram, and I sat there for 10 days and cried. Literally, every day, cried my guts out. Like, what the hell is going on? I didn't know. I just knew I had to be, and they were singing Om Namah Shivaya, like 1,000 people every day in this big auditorium. It wasn't my path, but I didn't care. I needed the help. It's like, when you're desperate, you don't give a shit what they're saying. You just go to where you can get support, right? I think about it now because that was the beginning of the turnaround, because at the end of the 10 days, I was really happy. I found this, I was just sweeping my floor in the kitchen, and I was just like singing, and I was like, whoa, something's happened here. Like, I went through that deep pain, that searing pain of being separate, and it really worked for me. But that was 98, so it's been a few years, and I've really kept at it, because I know that it's not easy to wake up, but it is worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. In the end, you get to be happy and free and help other people. And your kids grow up and they're happy too. They're coming today, so I'm really excited. They're coming to visit me because, tomorrow's my birthday, so. But, I'm just really happy because I don't see them enough, and I did have a custody issue with them, and because I was in a cult. Yeah, that was real. And so it really did affect my life to have people attack us for being in a cult. It affected me deeply, and I didn't understand it. And then the next thing I knew, I was just like having to accept what was going on, because, right? The truth is, I'm the light of the world, and the kids are fine, and they had to live with their dad. And okay, so I didn't like it, but I healed from it by doing this, literally every day. Healing from, I don't understand why this has happened to me. I don't understand. You're not gonna understand it. It makes no sense here, because the ego makes no sense and never will. Okay? Yeah. Don't try to make sense of an illusion. It's like, even the justice system. Try to make sense of a justice system that would take children from their mother, who was a 10-year, full-time mother. It just made no sense to me. I was just, what? But true justice is the love of God, right? I had to read about it, the justice of God, chapter 25. I was like, oh my God, I need help. Justice is love. Justice is seeing everything through the eyes of the Holy Spirit, where everything is corrected and everything, all the falsity is put away, right? And we're living in this extension of love and sharing. So that's another thing. Okay, that's the next paragraph. I love that. This is why you never have to worry about what you're supposed to say, because as you're saying it, it's coming through, and then suddenly you're like, oh, I am on the next paragraph. Great, thank you. The way to undo them, the errors, is therefore not of you, but for you. The atonement is a lesson in sharing, which is given you because you have forgotten how to do it. That's it. You forgot who you are, so you forgot how to heal yourself. The Holy Spirit merely reminds you of what is your natural ability. It's really natural for you to share love, right? Extend love. Like little kids do it, no problem. Like they're running around just beaming love. That's how we are in truth in the kingdom. We're always in the innocence and the light. And that's the sharing of it is to join with other minds, right? And it happens when you pray. It happens when you meditate. It happens when you let go of your pain, right? I'm sharing it or teaching. Or it doesn't have to be a formal teaching. It's just like sitting with someone and going, can you help me right now? I'm in pain. A concentrated group of people that are doing that is powerful. That's why I stayed where I stayed in the academy for 10 years, because it was like, this works for me. We have support around us. And it was fun. We were celebrating a lot. We were dancing every morning. We were listening to great music. We were traveling the world. We were teaching A Course in Miracles all over the world. It was amazing. I still pine for it. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, what am I doing here? You know, I miss that. But we're creating it, right? We're creating it here because I think a lot of us had to realize that we couldn't stay together in a group. We had to go out and find our own way. And I'm so proud of Lisa. I mean, Lisa never even taught a class at the academy, and here she is, like, this amazing teacher. And I'm like, whoa, who knew? Like, you just don't know. Once you start teaching, it changes you. It changes you to give of yourself. It really does. And that's why the master teacher had to teach every day. Every lecture he would say, thank you for letting me teach. That's it. Because he had a need to teach. He had to fulfill his assignment. It's like Byron Katie. She has to get up and do the work with people. It's her assignment. Why? She has no idea. And she doesn't care. It's working. It's helping people shift their mind. If you can't get beyond the theology in the Course in Miracles, like the Christ language and all that, do the work of Byron Katie. Because you don't have to have any kind of belief system. You just have to believe that the universe is friendly and that your mind is not. Right? Yeah. Your mind is not friendly. It's attacking you. It's not a fun place to be or to hang out in. But if you do the 4 questions in the turnaround every day, and I pretty much do, and I do it with my clients, it really shifts quickly for people who don't want to do a spiritual path. It's really funny. It's more of a meditation with her. It's like you go inside and you ask yourself, what's really true? Right? And then you turn that gets turned around. Well, when I believe my thoughts that are of attack, I suffer. That's her message. When I believe my thoughts of attack, my beliefs and my thoughts about, that attack me, that think I'm small, that think I'm limited, I suffer when I believe those thoughts. And when I don't believe them, if I release them, if I say no, I don't say no, I look at it and I feel it, and then I go, who would I be without that thought? Really do it? Really sit there and go, who would I be without the thought that I'm separate from God? Imagine who you would be without that thought. You don't know, right? I have no idea. Good. You don't have to know. Just explore it. Explore it for yourself. See what it feels like to open the door to the possibility that your mind is wrong and that the correction is, I am the light of the world. I am the light of the world. Me, Monica. Makes me laugh, makes me cry. I really am the light of the world. Why? Because I made the world up. It's my projection. So it's not outside of me. Really important. There is no objective world. Ding, 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 ding. That should hit you right between the eyes here. There's no objective world. It's not there. It doesn't exist. It's all subjective. It's you. It's you projecting your thoughts and beliefs out onto it. What a relief. It's the answer. And so, if I'm projecting fear, I'm receiving what? If I'm projecting love, I receive. So that your job is to share the truth. Share your natural ability. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing real can be threatened because nothing unreal exists. Ego is the unreal. It doesn't exist. And every time you feel afraid, you don't exist. I know that's weird, but it's true. Like, I don't exist when I'm afraid. That's weird. So, what does exist? That's your question. Don't answer it. Don't fill it in. Allow it. What is real then? If the fear that I experience isn't real, then what am I? You don't know. Let it be revealed to you. It's not going to come in the form. I don't know how it's going to come. It'll come. But you have to want it above all else. You have to be so sick and tired of your own fear, your own, guilt of that you think you separated from God. You didn't separate from God. You didn't. That's impossible. God is your source, right? Ideas leave not their source. That's the Course in Miracles' basic tenet. Ideas leave not their source. Fear thoughts come from this little thing between your ears, right? That's it. The mind of God is what we are using, because it's all there is, right? It's all there is the mind of God. We're using that mind to heal, to hurt ourselves with fear. We can decide we don't want to do that anymore and choose, instead of attack, let's share love. Let's be light. Let's be in love. Let's forgive. It's the only way, in my awareness, is to forgive, to let go, to stop judging. I mean, honestly, I don't even know how to do that. I don't know how to forgive, because I'm still seeing an error and I'm still judging. Even that you can't do by yourself, right? Because I'm making up the thought. I'm making up the stupid dream that my husband took my kids from me. Or, I mean, the day I forgave him was unbelievable. I wasn't going to forgive him. Are you kidding me? I was so angry. I was really angry. But one day I was picking up my kids from the plane. We were in Florida because we were going on vacation. I don't know how that happened, so I had no money. But we were there. My parents were there. I was picking up my kids. It was all miraculous. And I saw that I hadn't lost them. It was like, I could cry. I was looking at them going, oh my God, I didn't lose them. They're here. And we're going to Florida. We're going to have fun on the beach. And my parents are here. And it dawned on me like, boom, you didn't lose anything. You can't lose anything here. So I called my ex-husband and said, the kids are here. And by the way, thank you for fighting for your kids, because you're a great dad. And he goes, thanks for saying that. And I burst into tears and I hung up the phone. I was like, well, who said that? You know, I was so tired of being angry. I was so tired of having that resentment. It just had to let go. But it was a miraculous moment that I had nothing to do with. Yes, I had worked the steps. Yes, I had been in step 8 for a really long time, which is becoming willing to make amends, right? You can stay there for a long time, because if you don't actually make the amend, you're still in the thinking you're willing, but not quite. Tricky, right? It's a tricky place, because, yeah, I don't really want to pick up that phone and talk to that guy, because then, do it. All right? Do it. It will heal you. It has nothing to do with the other guy. It will heal your mind from that resentment. So, 12-step program. Lots of things have helped me along my path. I'm going to answer some questions now that came in, unless you guys have questions. Does anyone have a question? You guys are so quiet. Oh, thank you, Laura. I love you too.
We are at work here. So anyone that's okay, we don't have a microphone on you.
Oh. Thank you.
So I'm saying happy birthday to you.
Thank you,
And
Laura. Thank
you for doing this. I love you. I connect right to you. I connected to you the day I set eyes on you. We knew each other from another life. And I love what you're saying. It all overlaps, whether it's it's Course in Miracles, 12-step, Abraham, Byron Katie. All of it is the same message that we cannot trust our own thinking. And I have to surrender my suffering every day by surrendering my thoughts, every single one of them, because the first thought is never the right thought. It's the ego. First words out of my mouth will be the ego. These are the things I try to teach in AA. Also the perception. That's the most major thing I try to say when I'm standing at a podium. That if there's 50 people in the room, there's 50 Lauras. Mm-hmm. Byron Katie says that all the time. And you can only perceive what you're seeing from a veil of your past. And that's what this mind training is for. So I think it would be good if you put, for the new people here, the teachersofgod.org, where they can find the free 40-day thing, because that will get them started.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, honey.
You bet. Laura, I love you.
I got a fun little experience that I had when you were talking about how you were reading from the book. Oh, there's the next paragraph. That's exactly what I was going to talk about. when I had an experience staying at Bill and Lisa's house when they were away in San Francisco at the conference, and I was painting. At one point I said, I'm kind of hungry. I think I want to get a sandwich. And I'm thinking about that. And I said, if I were Lisa, where would I go? So I get in my car and I start driving, and I get to the end of that one road where I could take a right to come where I came, or I could take a left and go, I don't know where. So I start driving and I see a sign for Kittery. So I follow the Kittery sign. And as I'm driving, I pulled into the weather vane thinking, I'm going to have a burger. And then for some reason that didn't work. I pulled right back out. I kept going and I see a sign that says sandwiches. I pull in there and I'm park my car right in front of the sign, and it was something about Henry the Second, Bill, hand carved. And I went, oh my God, Lisa talked about that a million times. I asked and I followed, and there I was. And it was like, wow. So when you listen, and that was a fun thing, you know, when you listen, you get guided to wherever you're supposed to be, or whatever you're supposed to do, whatever your purpose is, whatever. You just have to listen, let go of the fear, and stay in love, and it will come. And we all have bumps in the road where we get caught in the fear here and there. But when we're really listening, it's so cool. Anybody else?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you, Monica. This is really kind of bringing things full circle for someone that's fairly new doing this. One thing that keeps coming up for me that helps me get out of that ego mind is letting go and having the trust in the light that it will all be okay, and that it alleviates that trying to figure it out part. So for me, it's sort of the trust aspect. There's something bigger, and we're part of something much larger. We're all connected. So that's sort of how I kind of turn it off for me.
Awesome. It is, faith and trust go together, right? So if you have faith that your perceptions are not correct because they're showing you crazy stuff and they make you afraid and fearful, then you lose faith in it. Like, we always have faith in something. If we're listening to the wrong guide, we have faith in that guide. If we listening to the right guide, we have faith in that guide. But you have to put your faith in the right guide. That's the key. The right guide is still the Holy Spirit within you. It's still the one that you've been seeking, right? And the faith and the trust comes from doing it and seeing what happens. I want a sandwich. I want to go where Lisa went to go. Well, always goes. Yep, there you are. Bing. You know,